Good morning. Well, it'll be good afternoon when this comes out. And how are you, Purple Rain royalty, after our fantastic and monster win 18-4 against the Roosters last night at home at which called AAMI Park for this is our round 13 game review. Aaron, how are you, man? Because explain to the audience, just double check with the audience that this is actually Aaron.
Yeah, I've gone a little bit of a change here. I've trimmed the beard down and I'm back to bald.
This is not
I did
our
it
man,
pre-game.
Aaron. It's a different
I did
bloke.
it pre-game. I did it pre-game, so hopefully that was, I might have to stick with this one because that's our best performance all year. And I've got a little bit of a raspy voice, and that's because I was cheering my absolute head off for an hour and a half there. Great night all round, and it's good to get on here after a win and have a podcast for a win again.
Yeah, a laugh and all. Look, I can guarantee to everybody this is actually Aaron. I can promise you I sent the link exactly to him. So don't get scared off by this weird bloke that's just very unusual. I might do like a Tuesday, this is Aaron shot, and then a Sunday Aaron shot, and spot the difference. It'd be pretty easy to win that match. Mate, what a beautiful Starlight Children's Foundation game that was. Before we start on the game, I just want to do a couple of things. We have a member of our royalty family who was actually able to get onto the ground and with his boys and have the fun and enjoy the wonderful cause that they have put out there for kids in need. He also advised us that there was about $100,000 raised, which is just absolutely phenomenal, mate. Aaron, tell us, how was the feel there? What was it like? And any other little bits and pieces you want to talk about with the Starlight Foundation?
The weather wasn't great. I mean, when we were walking in, it was a little bit misty, and the crowd was down because of that. I think we only got 16,000 people there, but there was lots of those wands, the $10 wands that you could buy. They look really great when they turn all the lights off, and the kids were all loving them. And to raise $100,000 in just for one game's unreal, and they really deserve it. I mean, if it helps those sick kids, it's a good cause, and I think this partnership with the Starlight Foundation will go along for a long time because people like that play for the Storm, they have this ability where they can get in there and get these kids to smile when other people, when they don't feel like it or when they're just down and out. So it's a great partnership, and I hope it continues, and well done to everyone for getting involved.
Mate, well done to the Storm, Melbourne Storm, for having this connection and link and doing something fantastic. Well done to all the sponsors. I think Budget Direct, who else? I've gone completely blank there, Aaron. Who else?
Well, they were spinning the big wheel, Budget Direct again, the big wheel where you can win a golden ticket, and you could also win one of those bolts up hats, or you could win a football, or everyone gets a chance. And Nixon's had 4 goes at it last night, and Nixon last night spanned me up a golden ticket. So now I'm in the draw to win a box at the AAMI Park. So come on, Budget Direct, make sure you pull my name out. We get 15 tickets if we win. So let's go.
I'll fly down if that happens. What game?
You're in. It's for the Penrith game.
Oh, I don't know if I want to go to that one.
In the box, it'll be all right.
In a box, yeah. I love the Storm. Love that foundation. I love the messages that came through from some of our family who were messaging saying that they were there, what it was going, what it meant. The fact is that he mentioned just to the everyday public, you don't realize how important these types of things are for those families and those kids. And just one night and one ability to be able to make a difference like this makes a world of difference for our families and for those families in need. And so I think it's just such a wonderful cause. And I feel privileged that we actually got to see some photos and got to talk to people who are actually there through our messages and messaging us, which means that obviously we mean a lot to them. And with the ability to be able to share that sort of stuff is just yeah, mind blowing, man. And I'm so happy that this happened. And well done to all the sponsors, the team, and the Starlight Foundation for putting this on. Let's do it. Let's get into it. We're not even ripping this Band-Aid off because I'm gonna try and rip this one really, really, really slow because I want to celebrate just a fantastic win. And whilst I don't think we were super convincing, I think the weather played a bit of it. I think just Origin weekend played a bit of it. Early days. Harry Grant doesn't come on until the 21st minute mark, which meant we played the first 20 minutes without him. You could see that his body was sore. He was wearing a little thigh guard, hamstring guard, so you could tell that. We were just a little bit disjointed in attack at times, so it wasn't as crisp and beautiful as it was. But man, it's so good to win a game like that, continue that awesome, like it's not a streak anymore, but the woes that the woes that the Roosters have against us, continue that win loss percentage, and I think it's like, what are we like? It's like 9 out of the last 8 or something, and then it's even further than that, and I think we add to the Roosters' woeful ways with 24 games or so, 25 games or something out of the last 26. They've lost to us and Penrith. They don't like losing, or they love losing to us two teams. Aaron, awesome, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you said there that Trent Tolau started on the field, and I think it was a good option because down the back end, we did need Harry, and if he was going to get tired, and then it got to a point in the game where we couldn't take him off because we needed him, it would have been a lot harder to make that decision. So to put Tolau out there at the start, and I thought he was great. He got out of dummy half. He had good service off the deck. He made his tackles. He had a couple of moments there, a nice kick. Yeah, a nice kick. He set up a try that got disallowed there as well. I mean, he was good in that first stint, and all they would have asked from him is to hold your gloves up and to really weather the storm, so to speak, and he did that. So that was a good start. And then you said that the Origin period as well plays a little bit into our hands for this one, and I took some notes there just about the start from the Roosters. Some of their Origin players, like Radley, made a bad mistake early. Collins made a bad mistake early. And Toya made a really bad mistake early. And that just really got us playing in their end and gave us a bit of confidence, which we needed because we're coming into this game a bit flat after last week, but with a lot of pressure on. So it's good to get off on a good start. And to score first was really important. I really think we needed that. And that's in both halves, actually. We come out after halftime, and I thought the same thing. We need to make sure that we go on with this, we score first, because otherwise that hoodoo, that mental side of the game will come into it, and we managed to stick strong. So very good, very good.
Well, let's talk some stats that I'm going to pick up, and listeners pick up some other stats if we don't cover it, because to be fair, there was a lot of really good stats, but there's some of the keys that I think were possession. So we actually owned possession this game. We had 32 minutes of it to their 23. It's just, that's mind-blowing, isn't it, mate?
Yeah, no, in the first half, even though we didn't make the most of all of our opportunities, we looked a bit stagnant there, and we kept making some shit options where we weren't running onto the ball. Trent ended up with it a couple of times flat-footed. Kingy also, even Lasardi once or twice there. And it just did look a little bit clunky. But the fact that they stayed in it and they didn't panic there and we held the ball and we still completed at 91% for the game, I think it was. Only one error in the first half, and it's Alec McDonald where we're on the march, late in the half. It was a shit drop ball, but I mean, to get all the way through there in those conditions, it was really greasy. And there was a few balls that were hard takes. I mean, Munster took one that was behind him that could, like in weeks gone by, that's a drop ball every day of the week. Munster held on to it. Just a few other times where we just really controlled the ball, and that's pleasing. If we can do those little things there, and that really helps because we're not putting that pressure on with the turnovers.
Yep, and when you have weight of ball, as like we did for an extra 10 minutes, it tells you that, the problem is that in the past, if we've had that much possession, we've probably given it over pretty quickly, or given it over through an error, or not made the most of it. Tonight or last night, we had 91% completion, as you said, to their 61%. They had 18 errors to our 9 errors. It was much better in attack, wasn't it?
Definitely, and as I said, we didn't look like it only went 6-4 at half time. We probably had a few opportunities there where we could have put points on in the first half, but what it did do is it camped them down in their end and it gassed them out. We made them make, I think it was like 60 or 70 more tackles in the first half, something like that. I seen it on the TV, but I didn't write it down. But to make them defend like that really just gave us a little bit of an extra advantage coming out in the second half, that we had a little bit more energy. Now, I know we end up losing Meany and we have to change our bench rotations, but we've talked about the bench rotations and how we've used it, and I thought last night we actually got it right for a change. We did the right things, and we used the bench well, and the people that came off the bench did their job as well. So, we'll get to that as well.
All right, so the next part of it that I'm actually really surprised about in this stat, but is kick meters. So we had 662 kick meters to their 301. DCE and Sam Walker are incredible kickers. Like, they're Origin guys. And we win the battle of that by 300 meters. Now, this kind of tells me that we buried them very deep, which meant they didn't get to have a chance to get good field position, which meant they couldn't bomb it long. They just had to try and bomb it out of their end. Agreed with that, Aaron. And how come we won that battle so much?
Look, I thought Munster kicked really well last night. He missed a couple of 40-20s. He also got a couple of repeat sets, and he kicked really well for us. And not only that, I think Harry kicked really well as well. So when you've got Hughesy, Harry and Munster all with their kicking games on song, that helps for a start. And on there, I just don't think they had much time. I think we really limited the amount of time that DCE and Walker had with the ball. And if you can't get to a good kick, you just have to kick it high because you're going to get charged down. So I really think the line speed and the pressure on the halves was really good, and that just didn't allow them to step in and really get a boot into it, which is a part of the tactics. Yep, we said we had to shut them down and limit their time, and we really did that. And in the wet, it's even better because then it's even harder to get the kick up.
Couldn't agree more. Which, when you win those battles for the kick meters and you bury them deep, this makes sense. 201 of our runs, all runs, to their 174. So we had basically 30 more. For 1,857 meters to their 1,513 meters. So we had more than 300 meters. I thought we played this game, to be fair, very simply. Kick long.
Absolutely.
Kick long, run hard, defend well. That's it. That's what it was. Sorry, Aaron.
We turned the ball under and just sent the forwards back through the middle for the majority of that game. There was periods of the game where we were camped down on the Roosters' end, and we weren't trying to play expansive. We just would shift from the right to the left, and then we'd tuck it back under, and we just kept pumping the middle and hoping that something would open up. Like it was a patient display. It wasn't forcing our hand, and in the wet, it really had to be. It was smart tactics, and look, to come away with a 91% completion rate is pleasing. And Bellamy's, a couple of the errors there really bad. Like that, I'm not, but you're allowed to make a couple of games. So Alex was no good, and Trent's little drop ball there that just was a bit silly. But overall, the control and the discipline from our team with just ball handling was great.
It was fantastic. All right, let's quickly go into our defense. So, with some stats, to be fair, and we'll talk about this a little bit more when we get to our talking points, but defensively, we were just locked in. Our line was set. Only probably 2 or 3 times really stood out to me that we had some bad defensive errors. Like one of them was Warbrick, how he come up so far out of the line early, and the Roosters.
Is that when they scored?
That was the Roosters' try. There was a couple of other ones that were made through the middle, which we're not great. I didn't like them, but to be fair, our defensive line was set. We played defense off the back of good offense by protecting the ball, not making errors, and not having to defend constantly in your own try line and digging in deep. We were so much better, which gave us the opportunity to have that really quick line speed. And so often we won the meter gain because we forced them to an average of 31 meters a set, which is pretty good against a really big, good, open Roosters team that really liked to do that. We only had 20 missed tackles to their 48 missed tackles. So defensively, we were fantastic.
Yeah, no, agreed. The defense scramble was great. We had jerseys in the frame. I took special note of Sua and his positioning last night. He was following that ball. He wasn't getting caught out. He wasn't leaving too much room there. He was awesome. The one with Warbrick where you said where he rushed out on his line. I mean I think it was Mania by that stage who was on the wing, maybe at centre in between him. I'm not sure, but whoever rushed out inside.
Mania was in the centres. He came on for Meany early for Meany's half muscle.
And they went through like Sam Walker to DCE, and then they threw the ball out, and Teddy catch and pass onto the outside, got it to Savala, and Teddy almost got hit. That was like a split second, and then Savala, for him to drag that across his body and get it out to his winger, that was an unreal pass. So I do agree Warbrick was a little bit mistimed there, but it wasn't by much, and it was a really good pass from Savala to get over in the corner. So I thought they did really well to score there, considering the pressure we put them under. 9 times out of 10, they dropped that.
All right, let's go into the try analysis scene as we're doing that. So the first try, Harry Grant, 25-minute mark, the old Harry Houdini. I'm loving how this is now a thing.
How good was the fact that the play before? Well, we'll go back a little bit, and like we were down there for 7 or 8 minutes. Then we were pumping them. That was just like relentless, repeat after repeat after repeat, just good options, and we just kept them trapped in there. And then again we turned people under again and again, and Kingy got that run towards the line, and Kingy actually got held up in the air. The ref called held, and he fell over the line and grounded the ball. And I was like, yes, you beauty, that's a try. And the ref's gone, no, you got to go back and play it. As soon as he does that, I mean, Billy Smith is at a marker and he steps forward. He's on his line. He steps forward a metre, and Harry just goes to pick up the ball and looks up, and Billy Smith's coming at him, and like he only had to make 1 metre, and Billy Smith's come up over the line. Harry was like, thank you very much. You can do that every day of the week. I'll just stroll on through. So bad from Billy Smith, but unreal from Harry to recognise it and just straight back over.
I actually want to give credit to Josh King there, because Josh King, 99% of the time, a player that does that is going to start celebrating that the ball touched the try line or touched the in goal, and where he's celebrating saying that he got the try. Josh King knew very well, disciplined, that he was held up. He fell down to the ground. Yes, he did it, but he just kept playing. He just did the play of the ball and said, yep, that's it. It is what it is. That's good credit, because NRL players will celebrate a try every opportunity they can, and that was one of those moments. So well done to Josh King.
He played the whistle.
Yeah, exactly. Will Warbrick's one at the 53-minute mark. What a try that was. Holy crap. Sua's run. Go.
I'm going to say this, and people are going to not like it because I'm supposed to be this mad Storm fan. I thought Munster shoulder charged him. Live, he did not wrap his arms there at all. He just come in and he just laid a bump. And I mean, I know it wasn't head high, it wasn't dangerous, it wasn't any of that. But as soon as I seen it, I thought, oh, fuck, they're going to call that. That's not looking good. And the umpire let it go, and that's great. So that dislodges the ball down the other end. And,
so, Aaron, okay, I'm gonna jump in there as a community and tell you to shut up. That is.
I knew.
Stop it.
Okay, and then what I'll say on that is sometimes you get them and sometimes you don't, and that one went our way, and that's great because
often this year it hasn't gone our way. So let's just take it.
Correct, and there's no malice in it.
I don't think it was a shoulder charge. To be completely and honestly fair, and I love that you've brought it up, I wasn't going to because I wasn't going to get into it, but yes, okay, he went it, but Walker kind of veers off his line a little bit. Munster doesn't go through, and it's more like his bicep and arm goes through, and hits him hard enough that he dislodges the ball. And the only reason the only reason why we're talking about it is because the ball basically is what gets hit, and Sam Walker fumbles it. It's the only reason. If he doesn't fumble that and passes it out, they've probably got a try or in a very attacking position.
Yeah, and then that's cool. The ref doesn't call it, and then this is another one of those situations where we play the whistle because Sewer stays alive, and Sam Walker throws his hands up in the air. Where's the shoulder charge? And that leaves a gap, and Sewer spots it, and he just weaves through the middle. He runs for 60 or 70 meters, gets down.
Can't believe he got
has
caught.
A quick play. I don't think he's that quick, to be honest. I think he's electric off the mark, but I don't think his top pace is that quick. Plus, Cody Ramsey can move. He is quick. So, yeah, I don't know. I think Sewer's electric acceleration and turn of pace, but I don't think his top speed's that big because his legs are so little. But got all the way down there, got a quick play of the ball, and then, it then goes back through the hands of Munster, back through the hands to Hughes. Hughes just stays awake and just puts it on Warbrick's chest on the wing there. And, mate, beautiful kick, beautiful run. Just everything about it was really nice. So that's a great try.
My wife was screaming, going, "No, Hughes, what are you doing? Don't kick that, no!" And then she sees Warbrick grab it and go, "Good!" And she turns around and she says, "Great kick, Hughes, well done, yeah!" It's one of those moments that because the ball moves so freaking quick, the camera couldn't pan out enough to see that Warbrick was there. And Hughes has kicked it, and then Warbrick grabs it and just runs in. And, fan-friggin-tastic try. Here's another
18th try assist for the year, that one. Hughesy,
leading the league.
18. Yeah,
he's now officially lead. He was in tie before the game for try assists in the comp, and now he's leading it. Next try is almost just as good. It was my favourite one, to be fair, and I love the Harry Houdini. But Moses Leo, 62-minute mark, runs the length of the field.
One-on-ones are always the best. He takes that high ball, he lands, he just weaves through some traffic and then just puts the afterburners on. And as I just said before, Cody Ramsey pretty quick. He left him for dead, and DCE was never getting there. He looks old and slow compared to Moses Leo now. But I did think that Ramsey might give him a chase down. But when I say Sewer's not that quick, I think that Moses Leo is that quick. And when he gets up to speed, you won't run him down. I don't think there's many people in the comp that will run him down once he's up to full speed.
That was very much a confidence try, though. Hey, like Moses Leo goes up in any real game moment. That's a really tough take that he did. To have the confidence to go up. Yes, okay, he takes it pretty much by himself, lands and realizes, holy crap, the field's open, the seas have parted. But that was a really good confident take, and Moses Leo is showing that he's in a rich vein of confidence at the moment, which is really coming out in his game. Good analysis there. Let's get into some talking points. So 7 to 8 kicks were given to one target. Do you want to talk about that big target?
Yeah, I thought definitely last night. I think there was 4 in the first half where Hughesy put it up for Warbrick. A couple of kicks were a little bit short and weren't on the money, but there was a definite idea to kick to Warbrick on the wing there against Billy Smith. And look, we didn't necessarily score from any of those kicks, but it did turn the ball over inside our 10 every time on that. So it's good to see we're going back to the kicks. And I mean, with Coates not far away, we're going to have it on both sides. And if Hughesy and Munster can get their kicks and land them on the line, teams are going to have their hands full because they're both... It feels strange saying that Warbrick's so good with his hands because he's had 5 errors again last night, but he just comes down with the high ball more often than he drops the high ball. That's not where he has his handling errors. He has them when he's trying to carry the ball one-handed out of our own end, which, again, last night, he did it again last night. He come out of our own end, he put it in one hand, and he went like this with it, and I was like...
I blew my mind. It blew my mind. I screamed at TV going, "No, Warbrick, you're bad enough with your ball against your chest, let alone trying to palm the ball around and do that."
I think he noticed too. Like when he put it up there, I think in his own head he noticed. He was like, "Nah, fuck, Bellamy's just absolutely tore me to shreds last week and told me he'll send me off to fucking New Zealand if I do that again." So yeah, mate, when he did that, I was like, "You are kidding me!" After last week, coming off his line, I'm like, "Shit, that this could go bad."
And he was lucky it didn't. But look, we were clear, and it was a clear and obvious decision and game plan to kick it out to Warbrick on top of Billy Smith's head. Billy Smith put out to the wing. He's not a winger normally. He's a centre. So he doesn't have to defend that as much. And as a centre getting under the high ball, it's more like a one-off last-ditch kind of effort. Normally out on those wings, it's Marky Mark and Daniel Tupou, who are two very good high balls. So we had an opportunity and we made the most of it. Every team has injury, so that's not an excuse. I'm not making that as an excuse, but we made the most of this. Warbrick up in the air against that Billy Smith, and it was just a target that kept going, and I liked it. I wish we do it more often. And when Xavier Coates comes in, I want us to do that so much more. But I think the reason why it worked so well was because we were getting up the field. We had good field position, and you can put the ball on top of Warbrick's head 10 metres out just to let him go up and do it and win those battles.
Yeah, and there was times when it was going to head out the other way, and you just saw Hughesy just actually change direction,
stop on the
around,
drop.
and kick it back to the short side.
Yeah,
and it was just like, this is planned, this is a tactic, and we're all going to keep going for it. And as you said, the weather helps because we're down that end of the field. We know we can camp them in there. If you drop it anywhere in the 10, even if we lose the ball there, it's a perfect place to turn it over.
It's a good changeover.
So it's a win-win. We either score or we put them in a good spot. So it's good tactics.
Yeah, and obviously, and I've noticed this year particularly that the kick into the try line just doesn't happen anymore. They don't kick it high up and into the try line because the risk of 7 tackles in a game that has so many set restarts and so easy to get set restarts, you just don't want to do it. So you've always got to drop it now before the try line.
And you say that, but I agree that there is less and less of it going on. But last night, Munster kicked one from the 20, he dribbled in, we got a repeat set. Harry kicked one in, beautiful there.
The dribble kick is different.
You mean just deep in over the line?
Yeah. The high ball kicks don't happen anymore.
And Tolau did a nice little sneaky one in behind when he was on as well. There was 3 really nice kicks there that just well weighted, sat up in goal and build pressure.
Yeah, there's heaps of dribble kicks, and I love them. That's probably my favourite part of the game. I love it. Maybe that's my AFL background, but I love those dribble kicks. There was one that Munster did was awesome.
From the 20, that was beautiful, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I mean as in the high ball into the try line. They used to do that a lot, used to get it a lot, and then your players would try and come up and just bring it down to stop it from going out. But yeah, or you wanted him to catch the ball in goal so that he had the opportunity to land and then try and force his way down. That doesn't happen anymore, and I think that's more a game tactic because of the 7 tackle set with the set restarts. You touched on this before, but let's talk about this. Roosters Origin players missed the start of the game. You said Collins, Toya, Radley with early errors. On the other hand, Munster's first half and Harry, when he came on, were brilliant.
Yeah, so the 3 errors there from them in their first half, they weren't the only ones. CY Wong made a bad one as well. They also gave a pen away at the start, so they weren't the only ones making bad errors, but these guys have decided to back up. They need to be in the game from the start, and they weren't, and that gave us a bit of momentum, which was great. And on the other hand, Munster looked up and about. He was laying big tackles, and he was really aggressive, and then when Harry come on, the second he come on, he gets 2 lovely kicks, and then I think the third time he touches the ball, we end up scoring, or not touches the ball, but the third time he goes in, we score a try there. So our Origin players backing up were really good, and I mean, I know Trent made that bad mistake in the second half, but the work he got through for that game was in the middle was unreal, especially when we had to change the rotation through an injury, and he was forced to play the whole first half, and so was Kingy actually. The first stint from Kingy in the middle was long. It went for 40 minutes. We didn't get him off, and both of those two were defensively sound in there against a really strong pack. I mean, Spencer Lenu's a weapon. He started and he was looking aggressive, and Naf White's huge. He's just a monster, and they managed to minimise his impact. Even when Collins come on, he didn't really add a lot of punch there, which credit to the boys in the middle. Kingy, I think, missed 2 tackles for the game. Trent missed 2 tackles for the game. Steph didn't miss 1. Lasardi missed a couple, but Harry missed 1. So it's like they've got a job there, and their job is really to be the defensive end. I know Steph's got through a monster load of work on the offensive end as well, which is great. But ideally, if they can control the middle like they did, our style of play is well suited to that.
Couldn't agree more. Now, you want to make a point of this, and I know you just said it before, but I'm going to do it again. Trent, you said, was huge on defense, and he even earned some praise from Bellamy in his press conference. There's a couple of comments that's come up around Trent in the post game, and look, there's a little bit of anger to it, but the comment was Trent's lazy on defense and wasn't getting up after his tackles, and he's always in the way of the opposition giving a six again, error after error, and he just keeps whinging to the ref. Now, Trent doing Trent things, unfortunately, and I think we've got to live in a world where Trent does Trent things. I will say the handling error that he had was poor, and then I did pick up on that six again error. There was a couple where he just held on for too long. He's lucky he didn't get called out for it. I think one of them, Harry Grant, got called for it instead. And then
that was Harry's hand on the ball, yeah.
Yeah, but Trent was there, and then there was also another one where Trent just lays there, like you can't lay in the ruck, and he's sitting there putting his arms up, and you could just tell this is what Trent was doing. And he gave away that six again. But they're the negatives. Talk to me about the positives, because I think that far outweighs what he provided on that game.
So I genuinely think that's his job. That's his job, to be in there and to lay on the ruck. And he's been told to walk that fine line and really try and push out that average play of the ball speed. And he did that very well. I mean, he didn't get penalty or six again in the first half. And, that's what he's asked to do. So for people to... I mean, he had one for the game and one bad handling error, but to say he was lazy on defense, I thought he actually led the line spin for the whole first half. He was the one leading the line spin, getting back, and then getting out after him. So, I don't know. I think sometimes people just have an opinion on Trent. I thought his game was really solid in that first half, and without being, like, it's very vanilla. It's not like we're sitting here talking about any excitement or anything that, is going to go on a reel, like, for people to see anything that happened good. But, I mean, he did what was asked of him last night, and the difference between him and Cooper Clark at 13 for me is just like chalk and cheese. It lets us play our way, because his arms are so long and he can control the middle. He gets into second or third man in the tackle. He tangles himself up, and it's just hard for the players to get out of there because he's so strong. And it's I don't know. He's like, he doesn't look strong and he doesn't do anything that's super strong, but like players just can't get away from him. Which I don't know. It's a bit of a Are you happy having a boring 13 if he does that? Or would you just prefer like a Showtime Cameron Murray or Isaiah Yeo? It just depends on what style you're going for.
Give me Cam Murray and Isaiah Yeo in their prime any day of the week, mate. And yesterday and tomorrow. But
yeah, and then you pay $1 million. Then you pay $1 million and you don't have a fullback and that's the option we've gone with, a cheaper work rate inspired player, whereas other teams have front loaded with $1 million player in there who brings the attack. But I prefer my attack personally to come from the spine, and I prefer your 6, 7 and your 1 being electric, and then to have a Harry Grant $1 million player as well, probably even more at the moment because he's captain. I think we're better off spending our money there. And whilst we're getting Trent for unders, I think people are sometimes a harsh critic, because I thought his game was good without being great, but I do think he played well backing up from Origin.
I think if he can play like that, but without all the errors and issues that we are like honing in on because it's Trent and this is the story, I think that would be way better, and I would love that. But anyways, next go to the next one, which is Moses Leo attack becoming a real concern for opposing teams.
Whew, what a game again. What a game. What's the run meters there? I got it there. So 12 runs, 224 meters, 2 tackle breaks, 2 line breaks, a try. Well, he's had 1 penalty there. He got 1, but it was, that's okay. He's fast becoming a handful out there on the wing. And with Meaney going down, this is the conversation we have to have now. Who's going to cover that centre position for the next few weeks? Are we going to move Moses, or are you just going to leave him there until Coates get back, or are you going to play Mania there? Because I actually think when Mania came on, he did a pretty good job last night. He defended well, and he's strong as well. So I don't know. We've got a decision there for the next few weeks. Do we cover the wing spot, or do we move Moses in? I don't know.
I hope we don't put Moses to centre. I really hope we don't.
Me too, to be honest. He's been going great on the wing, but when Coates comes back, I think ultimately then you're going to want to play him, and then you're hoping he's probably had a few more reps in the centres, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, look, I see what you're saying. We play the Knights next week. It can't be. We can't line up with a. We can't line up like at the moment. Leo and Howarth are just dangerous on that side, and Warbrick on the other side. Like, I love that. I would be happy just to have. I'd be happy just to have Mania there at centre with Warbrick on the wing. Honestly, I would.
It was good last night. Like, it really was good last night. I'm not saying. I'm just talking more in 2 weeks' time or 3 weeks' time when Coates comes back, and then we're going to have to make a decision because obviously Coates is going back to the wing. Then is Mania or Moses going to be your first choice? Or, will Meaney be back by then and you can't even fit him into the side? You have to carry him as an extended bench. You probably put Moses into the 19 somewhere and potentially use him game dependent.
And what a good problem that would be.
Absolutely.
I love the fact that when a guy like him has earned his spot and he is playing well, but he's just not quite in that position where, a world-class player like Coates comes in, that we have to say, look, unfortunately, you're not Xavier Coates. You are Moses Leo. You've been in a rich vein of form, but you're not Xavier Coates.
And the positive side is next year Meaney's off and that centre spot does open up for sure. And now even though he's doing this out on the wing, he's really putting his hand up to say, I've got what it takes to take that centre position. And don't get me wrong, I do think he does as well. Sometimes I question his defensive decisions at centre. And that just comes with reps. I mean, he just needs reps there. He needs to trust his inside and outside men. And his outside men and inside men need to trust him. That's probably the catcher.
Meaney's injured, calf muscle, at least 3 weeks. Maybe it may be longer, but let's say at least 3 weeks. Sewer kicked last night, and how freaking good for my super coach is that, guys? If you're an owner of Sewer, you're loving that he's goal kicking because there's the extra points.
He missed a couple of kicks, but I think
he missed
kicked
2.
pretty well.
He kicked 3 of 5.
Yeah,
he missed 2 easy ones.
One of them he probably should have kicked. Yeah.
Sorry, he didn't miss 2 easy ones. He missed 1 from the sideline and 1 that he should have made. But the other 3 he kicked.
Yeah. It's good that Sewer can kick, and I mean, that just throws another, like, if we get down to the end of the year and touch wood, we go on a run and we're playing finals and we do get to that point in the season, and Sewer's been kicking okay, well, I don't know, and Moses is still playing well, do the Storm pull the trigger and Meaney's position then isn't so vital because he's the only person in the team that can kick. So it just adds another little bit of pressure from below, and Meaney shouldn't feel like that position's his, and that's what people have been talking about, just the pressure from below from the players that aren't in the first 17 that can potentially take your spot, and that makes you earn your spot and makes you play for your spot. And if we start getting better and we keep playing like that pressure from below is going to be, really positive towards how we're going to play.
I think Sewer's kick routine is really funny. It's literally the same as his way he plays the game. If you notice, he puts it down, he gets it ready. He puts the ball on the tee. He gets up. He takes 2 quick steps backwards. Then he stops, and it's so 2 quick backward steps to the angle, stops, and then when he's ready to kick, it's like it's just boom, straight off the mark, and it's so fast. But I noticed that he got some really good distance off his kicks, and the kick went straight. Just the ones he missed, he pushed. it wasn't, he didn't get any like left to right or right to left action. It was some really good distance. So it looks like he's got a kick in him. He just needs to do a bit more practice, I think. But I thought I just, when I watched it, I just had to laugh about how good the kicking was, because it's literally what I noticed how he plays. He kicks the way he plays, which gives me to our next point. Sua's best game for the club. If you do not recognise greatness, then I don't know what else you need to see to you probably still think that Cam Smith and the boys isn't the GOAT, because this guy is just greatness personified and is ready to explode, and the NRL's in a better place now that we know that we've got a Sua Faalogo. And the best thing about it is that this bloke plays for the Storm. He was just a monster last night.
Yeah, that's it. That's as close to a 10 of a 10 he's played all year. That's fantastic. His defense was awesome. That one-on-one try saver, massive moment for him. That's just that's all we ask, that he can put himself in the frame there to make that play. And not only did he make it, he sent him into the first row of the crowd. So
do you mind if I jump in there? Not only, all I want to say to that is, not only was that a good try saver, did you see where he started that from? It was a good 5 metres off the sideline that he got there, recovered. But he was the one that made the tackle back. And he's then run through the fullback line and got there to get that. I just wanted to point that out because that was just phenomenal.
Yeah, and 2 or 3 weeks ago, it might even be more. Me and you were talking on here about hopefully he starts to support through the middle. There was a couple of times there where there was a little late offload where he just stayed alive and he was in there and he got the ball and went for a really nice run through the middle. I think I took down 60 kick return meters out of that 300, so 60 odd. I don't know what the exact number was.
Yeah, 67, according to
67
NRL.com.
from kick returns, which means he's had 240 meters just for the rest of the game, which
260. Yeah, 325 all up according to NRL.
That's crazy, if you look at someone taking 325 meters, you're pretty sure as a fullback that they're going to have at least clocked up 100 from the bombs, and he's done it in the field of play and through the middle, and that's what we were talking about. If he's got that little extra bow, which Paps definitely had, and that was so dangerous from Paps that he could poke his head through the middle, and now Sua's starting to do that, and it's just great because as Bellamy keeps saying, he wouldn't have expected Sua to come on this far in just 13 weeks. He's played 60 games. Well, either way, he's played 30 games of NRL, I think, 31.
I can tell you exactly.
Yeah, go for it. But yeah, it's like 30 odd games, and I think he's only started in. Yeah, so mate, it's great. He's in your first year. If you're getting this out of a first year fullback, go back and look at some of the others like KO Weeks. Full of errors, just excitement machine. People were all hyping him, and look how he's going now. And then you look at someone like Isaiah Ongi, same thing. Everyone can see the upside, and look how good he's going. But Buller, yeah. And then if the signs are there in year one, what are we going to be looking like in 2 or 3 years? This guy's growing day to day, and people still people out there that are off him, and that's all right. Whatever, you can be off players, and we'll still say our opinions, and it's fine. You can think you're off him, and you could think Hugo Peel is an option, but at the moment there is absolutely zero chance that Hugo Peel even gets a look in, because Sua is not only holding on to that jersey, he's got it locked down in the box, and I'm pretty sure the Storm go and up his deal now, and it looks like that the future is solid here, and Hugo either has to adapt or change his game and potentially get picked somewhere else, or maybe Hugo's going to be another one that just can't break this side, because Sua has proven again that he is going to be a real competition elite fullback once he rounds out his game.
People are already saying he is. Like, if you compare his stats to any of the elite fullbacks, his stats are far better than anyone else's. Like, he's one of the best players in the competition at the moment.
His attacking stats, absolutely.
He is, yeah. and his defense is going to improve, and so it should. I mean, and it's going to because he's only early. It's going to get better, but it will get better, and you can see that these moments are his. Like, yeah, okay, he's missed some tackles maybe over in the past, but in the past he's missed tackles because he's had to do things that he's probably not supposed to bloody do, and the line in front of him let him down. Last night, the line didn't really let him down, so he's got the ability to be able to use that pace over across 20 metres, which is some of the fastest we've got in the competition, and get to spots and use that speed as power like he did for that try saver. He used that speed as power to run, get that 15, 20 metres to get to full speed, and then just pushed him out of the line 5 metres from the sideline. It's just unreal. The missed tackle actually came down to the fact that it was against one of their big guys, and he was the first one. He's kind of got it, and then as the other boys came to protect him, he's rolled off, and because he's rolled off and let go, that was his missed tackle. Otherwise, he was awesome. I'm not going to have it, but I know that in the comments there's points. Yeah, shit, yeah. If he doesn't, holy shit.
Clear.
Yeah, the only issue is for me with Sewer was there was no try last night, so Supercoach he didn't push up to 120-30, he only got 93, but I'll take that every day of the week.
Still looked dangerous. He still looked dangerous with the ball, and he still was skipping on the outside, and he tried to throw that pass over the top. I mean, he didn't. It was a little bit. I don't know, his ball playing needs to come along a little bit as well. Don't get me wrong, he's not quite there with his ball playing, but I like the fact he went for that because, I mean, it went a little bit behind Warbrick there, but that was sneaky and it was a good option. It just wasn't executed perfectly.
Last on the list, and I just want to give a shout out. We put up a post yesterday when he came on. We got very excited. Hetherington, Jack Hetherington's come on. He has now played 100 games. Well done, man. Congratulations. He was good.
Yeah, 23 minutes I think he played last night, or something just over 20 minutes, and Alec I think got through probably double that, maybe 40 minutes somewhere there. I think
23 minutes.
I think after last night, if he can bring us that off the bench, like they put him in to 13 in the middle there, and I mean Trent's going to need a rest in there. He can't be expected to play big minutes, especially after an Origin weekend. But I mean, I don't think the idea is to play Trent for the whole 80 in the middle. I think you just want him to stay as fresh as he can, so when he's on, he makes impact. So if you can get Hetherington in there and to have that kind of impact, even with his runs and with his defense, he was great. He put on a massive shot there as well, which, that would have hurt. Right near the end, he's flattened someone. Geez, that was a big hit. He's a strong unit.
5 runs for 53 metres, 24 of them were post-contact, which I just love. That's exactly what you want for 20-odd minutes from a dude coming off the bench, just come straight through the middle. They were 5 hit-ups too, so it was all just straight-up hit-ups, which was fantastic, and he was able to make 12 tackles.
And he was good. He was very good. I credit where credit's due. If he can do that, he probably earns a bench spot for me. I know people wanted to see Pahulu, but once he got named in New South Wales Cup, it was pretty evident that he wasn't going to get a run last night. He was there. But, again, I just think that's a little bit of a... I know we didn't have to use him. I know situation didn't allow us to have to use him, but say we get 2 head knocks from foul play early in that game and they're both to middles, and then we've got Pahulu on the bench who's just played 2s an hour before, is that just leaving yourself open for the potential of something really bad to go wrong? Pahulu could have come on and he could have played back-to-back games and it, that would never happen ever it's just unwarranted. But I just think if you're going to play him on the bench and you're going to use him on a 6-man bench, I don't think you run him in the 2s before. I know he scored a try, and I know he played very well in the 2s. The 2s had a huge win before the seniors. So I don't know. I wouldn't do that. Lucky we didn't have to use him, so I'm whinging over nothing.
We like to do that, though. That's just what we do. Let's get into 3, 2, and 1s. This was not a hard one. You know what was hard, Aaron? Was the conversation you and I and Jess had in the background trying to figure out who we put down for 6, and we were arguing for who was our top 6 because so many of our guys played really well, and there are some that just could. There were some that missed out in that 6 just from our conversations around who, when we were looking at stats and stuff to try and make it, it was like, well, yeah, his stats are better, but I think he played worse than, well, not as good as it. And that was a bloody good conversation to be able to have, and we were in a position to do that. We had we ended up with our top 6 of Moses Leo, Jack Howarth, Sua Faalogo, Stefano Utukamanu, Cam Munster, and Atavalu Lasati. There was a few missed out, but that was our 6. Either way, that's who we went with, the 6. I'm pretty sure everyone knows who the 3 is. So let's just rip that off. Aaron, who was your 3rd? 3 points.
It's easily Sua.
Sua, and
not even a question. Yeah.
To be honest, 66 have voted already. It is currently 9:40, so it's still early days. 66 have voted. 55 went to Sua already.
Yeah, he gets the 3 votes. He gets the 6 Dally M votes. It's crystal clear who was the best player on the field last night. He was sensational, so that's easy. I gave my 2 to Steph. I thought his both stints were unreal. He had, how many runs did he have last night? Close to 20. 18 runs for nearly 200 metres. I just think that's what he didn't miss a tackle either, 29 from 29, 8 tackle breaks. Just exactly what you want from the big fella, just leading from the front and really setting the platform there. So Steph gets my 2, and I gave my 1 to Moses. I thought he was hard to handle, made some big runs. The only thing I questioned from Moses' game, and I know Bellamy will get into him as well, is that kick on the 3rd when he ran the wing and tried to put it around. And I mean, that would have been incredible if he scores there, and that would have brought the house down. It would have been the loudest 16,000 people I've ever heard in my life, I reckon, because that was just a prayer. And Bellamy,
he ran into the box.
Yeah, we got footage of that at the game too. They flashed him onto the screen, and he ran to the back. I reckon he put his fist through the wall and then came back and chilled out. But other than that, I thought Moses was sensational. So yeah, very, very good. 3-2-1 for me.
All right, so my 3 is obviously Sua. That's a no-brainer. We've spoken more than enough about that. My 2 goes to Leo. To be honest, I just thought he was next in line. He was fantastic. His confidence is such power, and when he has confidence through power, he's then got speed that's power, and he was just powerful last night, and he defended really well as well. I found it really hard for this one because I thought Stefano was great. I thought Lasati was good. I thought Howarth just did what he had to do. He was good. Geez, I thought Munster was just that chaotic but calculated chaotic. I thought he was good. Clark didn't make our list. I thought he was pretty good. I thought Harry Grant was good when he's come on. With a try, and he just set us up. He just did some really nice things. I thought he was good. I thought Hughes didn't even make the list, I don't think, did he? And I thought he was pretty good. He was kind of like, Hughes was one of those moments where he knew it was Sua's and Munster's turn, and so he sort of sat back and just had to finish off work, and I thought that was really nice. But look, I'm going to give my 1, and it's going to be boring because you gave him 2, but yeah, my number 1 goes to Stefano. I really wanted to shout out all those guys because it was a tough battle for us to try and figure out how we're going to go down with this 6 to allow this to happen, so that we can do it. We can't put everyone on the list, and to be fair, this is probably one of the only weeks of the year so far that we've had arguments around who's going to be there. So yeah, 3-2-1. All right, I'm going to go into the post, Aaron, and just because we will have some questions or comments. All right. Sua. There's another Sua. All right, so clearly Sua. I don't know. There's no questions there. It was just everyone talking about how bloody good Sua is. There is a question here that, not a question, but there is a point here that I thought I have read this out. It's by Glenn. Glenn. Defensively, very good scramble with good completion rate was great to see. It wasn't a pretty win by no means, but it was a gritty win and a win we needed during the Origin period. We have 3 games at home. We have a chance to go on a little run and build some momentum. What do you think, boys?
This is a big, we haven't had our 2 buys as well. So when you look at that ladder, it looks like we're 4 games outside the 8. Throw 2 buys in there, and that means those teams above us that are struggling as well, they need to win those for us not to catch up. So we get two really important games now, Knights and Raiders, to really steady the ship, because then we, we're gonna, if we get 2 wins and then we get our 2 buys, that's 4 more wins that are locked away, and then we're right in the hunt for a position in the 8 when we've really put ourselves in a hard position to be there. So I agree, massive gritty win last night, and to win like that, where we kept the Roosters to just 1 try. And I said it before and I say it again, that a lot of teams don't get that ball down. That they don't have the hands that Teddy had there, and they don't have the hands that Savala had there. If you do that, if you make that defensive play on 90% of teams, they drop the ball, they fundle, they can't get it through their hands there. So I just thought that was a great try from them, and for that to be the only one they scored on us, that's the most pleasing part. Our defense held up, and we turned them away again and again and again, and I know they had their handling errors, and I know they didn't play their best footy, but I don't really give a fuck. It was 4 points. That's it.
That was a really unnecessary swear word there, Aaron. Gosh.
Yeah. Sorry.
Pull your head in, man. We've got.
Did you see Levels are doing the swear jar?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. I'm gonna start putting you into it, eh? No, I love it. I think it's good, and I think some of our fans do. And if you don't, we don't swear over and over again. I know the Levels boys, they're all over it, but that's Willie Mason and Justin Horro, and they just don't care, and they just don't care. And people are going to watch them, and you know exactly what you've got. You got it. That's a big meathead prop that was playing our game in a very tough period of the time.
They're donating all the money from the swear jar to the M&D for Jai Arrow, so they're going to donate $5,000. So good on them. And I mean, if that was the case here and we were able to donate $5,000 here, I'd swear every second word as well.
What was I going to say? I've lost my chat.
Sorry, that's my bad.
No, so we play the Knights. This is a dangerous game. The Knights are on fire at the moment, but this is at home, and the benefit is that we've had Origin Wednesday, which was in Sydney. The boys it's a quick flight down to Melbourne. They get to come in home. Munster said he's going to have an hour and a half ice bath, so his body's all good. He's got a full week to refresh. Then we go into the round 15 bye. So we do have that bye. So we've got the round 15 bye, which is great for all of our players except for the 3 Origin boys. And then the backup game, which is round 16, is a Sunday afternoon at 4:00 against the Raiders. So the boys should be reasonably fresh after Origin, depending on what that is, because that Origin game's also in Melbourne. So there's no travel for them either. So for the Origin boys, they're in a world of love for the Origin, because they just came back from Sydney. They're in Melbourne. They played this game in Melbourne. They play next game in Melbourne. They get to stay in Melbourne for Origin, and then they get to stay in Melbourne for that. They're going to love this. And
it's a Sunday.
And it's a late Sunday game. Yeah. So it's
good points that.
We're in a really good position. Glenn, that first half was hard to watch. Players getting in each other's way, forcing us to concede and just messy play, but we had a 95% completion rate. The second half was back to basics and so much easier to watch. The moving of the ball was back. Players were making an effort to get back behind the ball carrier, and when someone ran, they backed them up. A good win, still room to improve. And I think, Glenn, if you listen to the full podcast and you got to this point, you notice that we talked about that. We actually probably talked about this pretty in-depthly the entire podcast.
Yeah, no, the first half we were clunky, and we were. And I'm not saying it was our best footy, but as long as you hold the ball there and you put yourself in a position to win and you defend your line and you scramble like we did, I think you're still happy with that, even though the attack wasn't fluent.
Drake, huge win against all odds. We could have gone 4 in a row if we didn't let last week slip out when we slipped a 12-point lead at halftime. This stat that I brought up last week when I was doing that research was, the amount of double-digit points if we win at halftime. If we win all them, we're top 4. A win like that last night entrenches us in the top 4. Bit of a killer there, isn't it?
Yeah, no, why are we bringing up last week, mate? Nah, I'm joking. Nah, but he's right. Fuck, losing last week just... imagine if we're 4-4 now and we're going into next week's game 4-4. Imagine the feeling around the place. But, the other side of that is we've had a bad one that really hit home and just showed that we're not quite there and we need to stay with it. So take a positive from a really bad negative, and that's we need to be better, and we were. So it's a very good point, though. 4-4 would have been real handy right now.
Let's end our podcast on this. Katerina Maxi. Game day at AAMI Park, and what a win it was. Tonight, the Melbourne Storm got the job done against the Roosters at our home ground, AAMI Park, and it was a fantastic game to watch from start to finish. To be honest, I wasn't feeling overly confident going into this match. The last few weeks have been a roller coaster, and I wasn't sure what to expect. But the boys showed up, worked hard, and came away with the result we were all hoping for. It wasn't always perfect, but a win is a win, and tonight I'll happily take the 2 competition points. The atmosphere was incredible, the effort was there, and it was great to see the Storm back on the winners list. Congratulations to the team on a well-deserved victory. Here's hoping we can build some momentum from here and keep moving forward. Go the Melbourne Storm. Hashtag Melbourne Storm. Hashtag Melbourne Storm. Hashtag Go Storm. Hashtag AAMI Park. Hashtag Storm Nation. Hashtag Purple Rain. I think that's a great one to end on. Aaron, let's a quick shout out to Freedom Finance and Con and his team. Mentioned Purple Rain for a $500 cashback offer. I rang him yesterday as I got an email from a different broker who messaged me and said that there's a 5.99% 12-month fixed rate. Con can get it for you because I know, because it got offered to me and we are locked. So 5.99% he can have a look at that for you, get into there. We know that that's an option, and a $500 cash back is on the cards. Aaron, anything you want to end with?
Just the pre-game post we put up, I did write it in there that a game against the Roosters doesn't really matter about ladder positions. This is like your Carlton Collingwood. This is like your game where it doesn't matter Essendon Collingwood, whatever. It's one of those games where Roosters Rabbits, or it's just a big one where the teams can get up for it because it means so much to both clubs, and it's so pleasing that, you know, we stayed focused, we got the win, and we've steadied the ship now, and that's a huge one because the Roosters are absolutely flying, and they're competition heavyweights this year. Like mark my words, when we get to finals time, they will be pushing Penrith. I promise you, their list is that good, and they're missing a few as well to put back in, but so are we. So the signs are great, and that's a huge win, and let's get into next week and let's get a bigger crowd Friday night. I know it's a shit time, it's hard, but I'll be there. Let's go. Let's go on a roll.
All right, as always, do all those nice things to support us. Give us a subscribe, smash that subscribe button in YouTube. Give us some stars and things like that, as in rating us on YouTube and Spotify. Subscribe on Spotify too. I realized you can do that the other day. And like and subscribe to our socials on Facebook, Instagram. As always, just free help. We got our first stars last night, Aaron, too. So someone donated some stars to us, which gives us. Yeah, I think it's like 10 cents or something, but 10 stars. It's freaking awesome. I love it. I was so excited when we saw that yesterday. So shout out to that. We're not doing it for the money. We're just doing it for the love. But we love it, and well done. And let's go Storm. Be ready for Tuesday night. We've got our TLT.
Thank you.